Okay, wonderful people, welcome to this amazing session. Just like some of you have been following, Billionaire Land Banker, how to become a billionaire land banker. Today we're going to be having yet another amazing session with my experts, an international businessman, Mr. Jake, and also Abuja boss lady, that's Miss Cynthia. So thank you for having us once again. Today we're going to blow your mind. By the way, we are wrapping up today. This is part 3 of the Billionaire Land Banker series. In case you've been following us, in case you have been not, right, just try to follow up. Go to our previous sessions, make sure you watch, or you go to our YouTube channels, AA Kabir, and search. Make sure you watch because there's a lot for you to learn. Today again, we're going to blow your mind, just like I keep telling you. My guests are going to be joining this session very soon. So before they will join, I want to bring your attention to something. There's a reason why I always come online here to teach you and also to bring others to come and teach you. One of those reasons is, number one, I want to help you make money. I know a lot of people, you've been whining and dining and complaining about the government, complaining about your own situation. You can't help yourself, nobody to help you. So I am here to help you for free. One of my biggest goals is I want to raise 1 million people that could be able to achieve the level of $1 million each. So if you want to join the journey, why not? This is one of the opportunities for you. Now, you don't only make, you have to manage. A lot of people make money. In fact, even if you are a staff, you are a civil servant, whatsoever you are working, anywhere you are working, I believe that you can as well make money. But the problem you often have is you are not managing your money. You are not managing the little you are earning. You should be a good manager of resources. That's the only way you can multiply your money, right? So I hope my guests will be joining us soon. On top of it, not just to manage, but to multiply, right? This is Oga Patapata of them all. You must learn to multiply the money you've managed. This is one of the reasons why we are having this session today with these experts, based on the fact that it's either you are doing business to multiply your money, or you are in the stock market. Some of us, if you don't understand, we're going to be expanding it like in the previous session, the subsequent sessions. But either you are in the business, or you are in the stock market, or you are in investment. These are the only 3 vehicles where you are likely to be able to what? Invest your money and multiply it, right? Like multiplying your money and triple and double and quadruple and all of that. 10x, 20x. So welcome once again. My name is AA Kabir. In case you are seeing me for the first time, I'm your favorite go-to entrepreneur and business mentor. I want to raise 1 million people with $1 million. Are you ready? Okay. Let me see if my guests are already here and they're going to blow your mind today. Like I always say, we have Miss Cynthia here. Let me see. Okay, I'm yet to have them. Okay, let me hold on a little bit for them to come on board. So while waiting, please share this link to at least 10 persons, at least. The least you can do is to share so that as you benefit, as you use your Saturday judiciously, let others too benefit from it. So share. By the way, before they come in, let me remind you that we've done some parts, like I said previously. We've done understanding land banking. What is land banking and what does it mean? Like some of us will say, is it that you take your land to the bank and bank it like money? Yes, not actually like that, but it's a way of saving money through land. And that could actually be another way you can multiply your money even while sleeping. Like Bill Gates say that if you don't learn to make money while sleeping, you probably will work throughout your life. If you don't learn to make money while doing nothing, you probably will work throughout the end of your life. I mean, till the end of your life. So what we are saying in essence is that we've done understanding of land banking, which is the first thing you need to understand what it means to do land banking. We've also done getting started. How do you get started with the journey? In case you are interested, you should be interested. I don't know the reason why you are not interested, right? So also we've done challenges and mitigation. Of course, businesses comes with problems. Some of you avoid problems. Jack Ma said, go and look for problems. If you really want to be successful, you don't avoid problems. Go and look for problems in case you don't have one. And I believe that people have problem, right? You have your own problem. And guess what? If you're able to solve your own problem, then that's the easy way to become successful, because you can help millions of others who are suffering from the same challenges solve their own problems, since you now know how to solve it. And guess what? They will have money thrown at you. Some of you don't understand this. So challenges and mitigation in terms of land banking was what we've treated. We've also treated liquidity and cash flow. For some of you that want to do land banking and you don't have money, or you have money but it's your business money, or you have just little, you don't want to end up broke and thinking you are an investor, broke investor. I don't know if you want to be like Sabinus. Okay, I think I have Mr. Jake here now. Let me try to be bringing him in while I'm still giving you breakdown of the previous session. You must go and learn, go and check it out, right? So Mr. Jake has just shown up. Thank you for coming. I'm still searching for him. You can also send a request, please. Just send a request and then I accept you from my end here. So we have liquidity and cash flow. How do you maintain that? We also have how to secure your land. This is very important. We've treated that. That's part 5, right? In part 6, we've also treated economic factors to consider, right? I don't want to expatiate more on it, but we've dealt with that extensively. Also, taxation and regulation. Mr. Jake is here now. Yes. I tried searching for you, but I didn't see the name. Mr. Jake. I don't know why I am not seeing you. Mr. Jake, you can just send a request. Maybe it's a network problem, I wouldn't know. But I just can't see you here. Like, if I try searching for you, I cannot see you. So why not send request? Send request to join. Okay, we've also treated taxation and economic factors. That's where we stop. Jake here, he wants to join. Okay. Let me now accept you and add you up. Okay, it's adding up. I just hope the network is not going to be crazy today. It's still adding up.
Hello, Mr. Kabir. Good morning.
Mr. J, thank you for
coming.
Thank you for showing up like you always do.
Thank
It's an
you.
amazing thing to work with you. I'm so happy. And the words of knowledge I've always learned from you, sir.
Thank you. Likewise, it makes both of us. I'm always learning from you. My chief, my chairman. So initially, I was trying to get on my laptop, but I don't know why that wasn't working. I could watch, but I could not join. So I felt like it would be great for me to be able to do so. I can do multiple streaming, but I don't know why it didn't work. That's fine.
You see, one good thing with people like you, I've decided intentionally that I want to have friends like you close to me, no matter what it will take. And since I started that mentality, it's been so easy for me. Just on people's WhatsApp status, I decided to make them my friend. I eventually choose my friends. I don't allow people to just make me their friend, but I choose those who I want to be friends with. And guess what? I kept looking at your status. The first day you'll be calling me from your company, I kept observing your status, and I knew right there that this man is a wealth of knowledge. So I think
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful words. Thank you so
so.
much. Likewise, it makes me to when I check your status and see all the knowledge you're dropping. Right from the first day we interacted, I knew that okay, this man was very, very impactful. You know, with lots of knowledge, it's got lots of opinions to give. You know, it's one thing to just be open to people's opinions and suggestions. Another thing to also have to be able to share stuff in terms of their opinion, because we did talk about the first day we started talking. We talked about a vast amount of things, from personal growth to industry knowledge and all of that, and you had quite a lot to share, and it was quite interesting. And it was quite interesting that it was also on the same path that I was looking at. That was also something you had interest in. You're talking about like industry leaders like Jim Rohn and a bunch of them, and in terms of personal growth, in terms of mindset, subconscious, I was like, wow, okay, this is somebody that I also want to. Hey, hello, Miss Cynthia. Good morning. This is also somebody I
Hi,
also
good
want to have in
morning.
my contact list and someone we want to talk about. And it's been interesting watching you. And an amazing thing, this man has an incredible son that is quite, quite incredible. Very, 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 very incredible son. Like, wow, how is this boy? Is a world of knowledge on his own. He has started his entrepreneurship journey while he's just, how old is he?
It's just 7. It's 7.
7. This boy is already going on live, teaching people how to, become an entrepreneur, how to do stuff. I was like, wow, every time I watch you, I was like, oh more. It's quite inspiring, very, very inspiring. I wonder how, just 1 year, 2 years down the line, let's even look at the long run, 5 to 10 years down the line, he's going to be taking over the social media space, just like how these guys, we've got, speed and a bunch of other guys that are doing amazing, young guys doing amazing, taking over the internet too. I know this guy is going to do even more, even before he gets to that age. So it's quite interesting to always watch him, with his knowledge and all. He's going to
Guess
be a
what?
great entrepreneur.
Guess what?
But
I am very, very intentional about my growth and everybody around me,
that's
right?
amazing.
Just like I said, I met you and I draw you close. I've met thousands of people this year that I've drawn close. Some of them are still on my DM. But I
Wow.
know that most of you are going to become a billionaire. And for me to make a billionaire friends easily, it's better we grow together. So
Exactly.
imagine me at 40, at 50, having a lot of billionaire friends where we can actually merge billions of dollars to make transactions.
Right. I know, right? That's it. That's the goal.
Cynthia is finding difficulties coming back. Let
Uh,
me draw her. Okay, I see her. I can see her here now. So let's not waste much of the time. Once we have her on board now, let's quickly continue. But just like Mr. Jake said, I'm trying to put a lot of information on my child's head, and he's really grabbing it fast. Like seriously, he's doing. And for some of you that are watching today, you probably don't know what is happening. You don't know what is happening in your life. You are still wondering why you are broke. You don't want to listen to sessions like this. You think it's frustrating. You think you don't have data. You use the same data to go and waste your time. So thank you for coming, Ms. Cynthia. I know you are so busy. I saw your messages. I was like, wow, this lady, let me not push too hard. I feel guilty sometimes calling you, looking at the situations. Mr. Jake, thank you so much for honoring this
Thank you
invitation. We're
so
going to
much
have it
for
fast.
hosting us.
We're going to have it fast today. We're going to have it fast today. Quickly, let's introduce yourselves before we quickly start.
Ladies first.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good
Sorry I joined the
morning.
session a little bit late. Thank you so much for having me today, and thank you so much for putting up this section together. It's actually going to be a good opportunity for a lot of people to learn, and I'm glad they're already learning because it's been premium value since we started the first series. Okay, my name is Omeke Cynthia. I'm the Abuja boss lady. I'm the lead consultant at Luxwell Limited. And at Luxwell, we bring your realty dreams to reality. So we're into property consultancy and we help you secure affordable property, luxury property within the city of Abuja and Lagos. So if you're in need of our services, do reach out to us on all social media handle.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jake, an international man. Can we have you, please?
All right, thank you. So, firstly, before I get into it, I've been trying to work on my bio because they've been dragging me to do that lately. So, I think I did that overnight. So, let me read from part of it. So, hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Jake Ihei. I happen to be a real estate consultant, international real estate consultant, as well as I'll say visionary, and also a global impact catalyst. So, Jake Ihei, as you are watching me, I'm globally recognized as a go-to expert for profitable and luxurious real estate with over a decade of experience in business management. And just to jump into it, I don't talk much into it. As a real estate consultant, Jake specializes in identifying. I don't want to be saying I too much. To be like, guy, why are you hyping yourself? So I'll use Jake. So Jake specializes in identifying and securing profitable investment opportunities in Nigeria, the UK, Dubai, and US. His expertise extends beyond transactions and beyond real estate. Jake is committed to philanthropy. He actively supports people in need and empowers mothers through various initiatives, providing them with resources and hope. Over the years, Jake has volunteered with several organizations like the Lagos Food Bank, the IA Foundation, and a lot more, dedicating his time into let's just jump into it. So while creating this, my narrative is basically to engage audience, diversify actionable investment, and analyze market trends. So this is something I'm looking at. I'm just wrapping that up. So I'll just, just a easy. You guys should be the first to hear this view. So when you start saying it in events and stuff, that, oh, I've heard this when this guy was saying this. So everybody, once again, my name is Jake Ihei, popular. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the go-to guy for everything real estate. Profitable and luxurious real estate in and across Nigeria, UK, Dubai, and USA, because we're expanding massively, globally. And it's nice to be here. Over the past few weeks, if you've been joining us, we've been doing something amazing, teaching people, giving them the basic and helping them understand the ways to go around land banking in Nigeria. For those of you who don't know what land banking is, if that sounds like a new word to you, so land banking is basically a strategy of real estate that people take advantage of in growing their wealth. Now, land banking starts off as in a pre-developed stage before land get developed. You're seeing how people make money from real estate, and you ask them, do you have a house? They tell you, no, I don't have a house, I just have a land, but I made this so and so amount. They use the land banking strategy to do it. So if you've not been watching, if you don't, you're just joining for the first time, I'd encourage and implore you to go back to the previous sessions. We've been hosting these sessions for the past 3 weeks or 2 weeks now. So we've had 2 previous sessions to this. So you want to go back and watch the previous session so you can start and learn. You need to start at the foundation. The foundation was what is land banking and how to get into it. So you need to start at the foundation so you don't miss out. You don't come in now, we're talking about some stuffs, in-depth knowledge, and I'll be like, oh, this thing is too much for me. You need to start at the foundation. So let's just jump into it so we don't take much of your time. Stay tuned. I hope you hold with your pen and your paper. Even me, I'm going to be talking, I have my own because these people are always giving me knowledge. So you want to join in and have your books, have your bio, you catch up, things you don't understand, you go back to the previous session and you watch it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Abdul. Thank you, Miss Cynthia. It's amazing to always be here with you guys. Some people are already, it is 7 a.m. or past 7 Saturday morning. Initially, on the regular days, I'm going for road work on trying to do something or having breakfast some days. So today we are here talking and learning. So let's take full advantage of it. Thank you very much once again for having me. It's nice to always be here with you guys.
See, this is what I call premium introduction. From this introduction, you can understand, you can relate by what I mean, international and expert man.
Relax.
If you have these people, you have everything in terms of land banking, and they can show you the way to become a land banker billionaire. AA Kabir, your favorite go-to entrepreneur and business mentor.
Yes,
Don't forget, giving 1 million people that could earn $1 million. So let's get started. Today we're looking at taxation and regulation. That's part 7. We're also going to look at growth and scalability. That's part 8. And last but not the least, we're going to wrap up. And in this wrap up, we want to give you success stories that will actually make you understand what we've been saying. So let's start with Miss Cynthia. Miss Cynthia, is it Mr. Jake? First come, first serve. Anyway, ladies first. Let me leave it for you guys to decide before you start judging me. Okay, so when it comes to tax, I noticed that since I started being a businessman, I noticed that tax are usually too heavy on the poor, like on the average, those who work for others, those who civil servants and all of that. But I noticed business people have their way of doing this thing in such a way that they don't get to pay much to the government. It's amazing when you earn more, you pay little. And when you earn little, you pay more. If you are listening right now, they want to show you another way you can dodge task. The money you are working so hard for, you're working so hard, but you still need to pay the government. Even they will deduct it before it gets to you. Doing real estate, doing land banking are some of the ways to manage tax. So let's hear from our expert. What are the tax implications that the viewers today should consider in terms of investing in land banking?
Okay, so let me just shed some light. Okay, so let's just shed some light into this. So for real estate, there are several tax, that you're prone to incur when you are in the real estate market. So, and there are also benefits with real estate and taxation. Now, some aspect of real estate, like land banking, basically, once you get into it, it's just a few things you're going to incur when you get, like, when you see like the land use charges, the capital gains tax, and these are stuffs that comes into play. So firstly, let me just give you the benefits. Once you're investing with, or you're getting into real estate through land banking, all these are you get to avoid all of this because you don't really get to pay taxes. What taxes are you paying into? What are taxes? I said, once you're buying into or you're investing in land banking, the only thing you'll be paying for is your documentations and the development which will be coming in the future. So you see that you'll not be having anything to do with tax as at then. And real estate is also a great way for you to actually avoid tax, because the taxations you get from there is just little. Unless you started development, then that's where all those land use charge comes into play. That's where your stamp duty and some other taxation come into play, property tax and all of that. This is in the development stage. Now, while you're thinking about land banking, you don't even have to bother about taxation and the bunch. To my own knowledge, you don't have to bother about this. Well, if you're talking internationally, now, if because the way taxation work in Nigeria and in other countries is not different, the same. The way it works in Dubai is not the same with the way it works in the US. From my own experience, in the US, if you're going to be paying tax, there are some locations where you're going to invest in the US, and you know that, okay, the taxation you're going to be paying in this state is different from what you're paying in this state. Like in Texas, for instance, which we have some projects. If the regular real estate taxation is around some locations are up to 20%, some locations are 4%, but in Texas you'll be paying as low as sometimes 2%, even lower, depending on the kind of project you intend on putting in that locations. In Dubai, nobody's buying into or doing land banking in Dubai except the owners of the land, but they're talking about properties, and for properties sometimes you might not even get to pay taxation at all. So let me not stray away from what we're talking about, because we're focused in Nigeria. If you're investing in land in Nigeria, you shouldn't be bothered. You'll not be bothered. Believe me, you don't even have to bother anything about tax until you start development. So, and once you want to be paying any fees when you're investing, it's your documentation and a bunch of them. So that's just in-depth, just inside basic surface knowledge I want to share with you. Then if we're talking about development, then there are other charges that are going to incur. But right now, we're just talking about land banking. So this is all I've got to say for the now. So Miss Cynthia, if you got stuff to add, please feel free to share.
Before Miss Cynthia will start, I'd like to clarify something. You see, you're an international man, and I appreciate that. But don't rest. The reason why we bring you in, so that we are not just speaking to Nigerians alone. This is an international broadcast, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
also, I
true.
have a legal boss lady here in case we have difficulties navigating Nigerian market. So that's why the boss lady is here. So don't
Yes.
restrict the viewers. Because you are not talking to only Nigerians, please, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. That's
Okay.
very
Okay, Miss
true.
Cynthia.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jake. He has pretty much said everything. I'll just chip in a little more. So when you're going into land banking, I think the basic tax you're paying is maybe on the transfer, at the point where you're making transfer from your bank to the developer. You
Mm.
know, those charges that they take off you, and then some
Yeah,
developers will say there's value added charge. You have to pay
that's
VAT.
easy.
You have to pay VAT. So at the cost of payment, but most developers will just tell you the actual amount, and then they deduct. They must have added the VAT to the actual amount that they are selling the property, and then they do that deduction for the government when they are remitting, they're doing their tax clearance, they do that to the government. So that's one on the side. And then when you buy into land banking, because you're not developing, you're not doing anything there, you're not even buying anything, you understand? The land is just lying fallow. There's pretty much nothing you are doing. Do you understand? There's pretty much nothing you are doing, just like Mr. Jake has said, until when you start developing, and then there's now the development control, there's this, there's that, you begin to make some payment for some certain levies and all that in order to ensure that okay, you have approval and the likes. But then also importantly, you need to understand that there's a thing called ground rent. And because you're buying into a company, most times is the company, the estate developers, they are the ones that pay the ground rent. You know, because according to the Land Use Act, all lands belong to the government. So it is assumed that the government has actually leased that property to you guys. So because of it is a lease, you don't completely own it. Although it's just a fraction that they are taking, there's a certain amount you remit to the government every year. So I want to believe, because I've never had any estate any person in an estate saying that they are paying ground rent. So I want to believe they usually would imbibe that into the levy, this charge that they usually will collect in the estate. They will always imbibe that in the service charge, so that from there they are able to pay the government what is due to the government, and then they have orders for the running cost of that particular estate. But like Mr. Jake has also said, real estate in Nigeria is not as it is in other countries, and also taxation in Nigeria is not as it is in other countries. Taxation is not so strict in Nigeria as it is in other countries. You know, so there's always there's a flexibility around taxation in Nigeria. But most importantly, if you're going into land banking, there is no such there's not much taxation, because once you buy the land, you're leaving the land to appreciate, and then you can sell. Maybe at the cost of sale also, you pay tax on the inflow and outflow into your account. You pay tax on that. But basically there is no particular charge that they say every month, every year you pay the certain amount as tax on the property because you own it. I've not really come across that, especially here in Nigeria. Yeah, so that's what I have to say about taxation for especially land banking properties.
Thank you very much for that wonderful response. I believe the viewers are really gaining value. Please, if you are getting value, in fact, at least the least you can do is to share this video to 10 persons, at least type, ask questions, say something about this session, and then let others to benefit from it. I remember when Honorable Minister of Abuja came in, Mr. Wike, there's a lot of issues. I know I'm not really fully into real estate, but I do some side stuff, right? Because so I overheard some challenges. This question is actually going for Miss Cynthia, but unfortunately she's not here. The network has started. But then
Okay,
maybe
fine.
Mr. J can start.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is, I overheard like you need to now go and there are government laws that started, even in the past we have government laws guiding land investment and all of that, and a lot of people don't know much about these things. All they know is that they have money and they want to buy land. So oftentimes they run into trouble, especially because maybe the land is not meant for what they are supposed to be doing there, maybe for business or maybe for commercial purposes, maybe for house, how do they call it, where you build and live. So and a lot of other things. Like he said, one of the challenges that I saw people going through was that you need to go and, even if you buy an estate land, you now need to go and get some kind of, I don't know, maybe Miss Cynthia will understand it better. Okay, she's here now. Let me bring her back. So, and that became like, you need to go and get your own papers. You need to go and pay this one money. I can't remember it vividly, but that you need to go and clear the money. So, Mr. Jake, take it up before Miss Cynthia we conclude.
Yeah,
If you know
so
anything about that.
yeah, so basically, I can only share knowledge if I get like the specific, what you're trying to express. I know when Wiki started his own thing with the Abuja, he was talking about a lot of stuff. He was talking about how he doesn't want people to start building and living, abandoning properties, because we realize that, especially in the FCT areas, because he knows that this location is where people are, where I'll say lots of delegates and all is happening. So he doesn't want a situation where people are just building houses, because once you go to these houses, you realize that there are a lot of uncompleted buildings there, and he doesn't want where people are just buying and just building house half and they leave it uncompleted. So I guess that was one of the reasons why he was taking all those actions and all of that. So I believe these are just basic stuff. A lot of times people just see news, see informations, and they just start jumping into conclusions without actually getting in depth into what it is. And I realize even a lot of investors have had, expatriate and people in diasporas, Nigerian diasporas, they're just saying, see what Wike is doing in Nigeria, it's not safe to buy in Abuja. Really? Did you even read what they're saying? Did you get the in-depth knowledge of what they're talking about? They're saying it's not good to invest in Abuja, it's not good. It is not good for you to go and start a project that you cannot finish and leave the place dormant there for years. Your property is uncompleted. If you do this, there are laws that is going around this. It's not just there, it's everywhere across the globe. There's your project you go and start and you leave it abandoned. They'll go and they start charging you, or they might take some sort of actions. As well, it also goes to the way to demolitions. There are stores that's always pushing this to happen. And in terms of charges, charges to pay, I think it's something they are putting across. I say Nigeria is just incorporating international laws into their system, even though they've not started putting all the right things in play. Yeah, you're talking about some charges. This is something that's even happening in Lagos as of now. They're allowing people, even tenants and landlords, they're going to be paying like ridiculous amount of money for your land, more like a land fee. Your land, you're going to be paying rental on it for the government. You're going to be paying extra charges as well for space that you're going to be occupying in that location, as well as even parking space. So I guess this is what they're bringing into the Abuja law. I think I'm going to read and get in-depth knowledge about it since you brought it up today, because initially I was just basically getting the knowledge on the and what's happening in Abuja and all the laws that's going on in terms of that land. Don't buy land and just leave it dormant for years. So I'll let Miss Cynthia educate us more on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jake. Although I didn't completely get
Yeah,
the
exactly. I was
question,
going to say
I
that
didn't
he
completely
could just
get
Let
the
me
ask the question
question
again.
because I was
let me
off and then I
let
came
me
back on.
explain. Let me explain. When we came, I know you might have the same information. When you came, people were like, you need to go and get some papers. Like even if you buy into estate, you need to go and clarify some things. You need to pay some additional money to be able to own the land. I can't remember what is it for because I'm not really getting it clearly.
Okay. I think one of the rules that he put in place when he came, one of the laws that he was like emphasizing on was getting a CFO. He emphasized that every house, every property must have a CFO, whether in an estate or outside an estate. So if you're not in an estate, your residential house that you're living in, if you don't already have a CFO in that particular property, you must have a CFO. I think at that time he put out a flat rate of 5 million for the CFO, but that price has been reviewed upward. And then there was also some discussions around it where they said, if someone who has a 250 square meter is paying 5 million, someone who has a 500 square meter is paying 5 million, it doesn't make so much sense. So I think they've reviewed it, but I don't know the actual amount they have reviewed it to right now. But he was really particular about every homeowner having a CFO for their property. He also emphasized on the payment of ground rent. He has really been fighting people on that particular one. I think I learned recently that some people that have allocation in Maitama 2, he's withdrawing some of their allocation because they have not paid their ground rent. So it is important to pay ground rent. Once you get an allocation, you have been allocated a property, there's a certain amount, it is already in their system, and it is assumed that you are making possession of that particular property. So it is assumed that what is due for the government should come to them. What is due for the government should come to them every year. And I think another thing he was also against was land speculation. When you buy land in a place like, say for instance, when you go to Wuse, you go to Maitama, for instance, there are some places you go and you see empty land. You see empty land. So he's like, no, this should not be. This is a city. If you have a land in the heart of the city, do not do land speculation. Develop it. Stop keeping the land. This land has to be developed. And I think at that point, he started to withdraw some allocation and stuff like that, So he was really, really serious about land speculation. Now, land speculation is almost like land banking, but then for some of these people, they may just want to keep the land because they don't have a need for it, even though the place is developed. And that is why we keep emphasizing that when you want to go into land banking, you can't buy into a developed place. You should be looking at developing area, places where you know that development is yet to get to that place. But if it is in a place that is already developed, you can't be doing land banking in a place that is already developed, because the place is already opened up, so you are expected to actually start developing. You cannot buy, for instance, now you cannot buy, even in an estate, you cannot buy a land in an estate like, for instance, Gadoa, or for instance, let's even say Guzape, and you say you want to leave it for 10 years before you start developing. You understand? So you might not want to live in a developed area already. Land, what's it called? Land banking. At that point, it becomes land speculation. You don't want to leave land that is in an already developed area for that long. But if it's in a developing area, because there is also time for that area to develop, you can actually leave the land for that long. So these are some of the factors that he was looking and trying to see that, okay, he ensured one CFO. Now, I also believe that the essence of getting that CFO is that you are also able to perfect your documents. Because if your documents are not perfected, you cannot obtain a CFO. So it's also an avenue for you to be able to perfect your documents so that you ensure that all your land documents are intact. It's also a way of for vetting people who are living in illegal structures, people who are maybe taking possession of other people's property. So when you're not able to process your CFO, they are able to vet to know that, okay, these people are maybe not staying in a place where they are supposed to. For instance, in a case of what happened in Lugbe, where there were demolitions, places like that, because there is already a government interest in that place, if you go for your CFO, they won't give you approval. Because if those people had CFO, they would not have demolished their properties. Do you understand? So if you go for a CFO, if you said, you're staying in this particular, if you go to process your CFO, it's already a red flag. It's already a flag. You're already letting them know that, this place, so people have taken possession of this place. So they begin to come for you. Do you understand? So those are the things that he was trying to put in place to ensure that he's able to harmonize the system and ensure that everybody has perfect documentation and all that. Thank you.
You see, they say knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. A lot of people, I didn't myself, I'm just getting clarity with regards to what he was doing and why it's very important, not only for you as an individual, but for the government and the people. So most times I tell people, you need to learn. And having sessions like this, the least you can do is to calm down and learn. Help us to share so that others too can learn. We are building a community. This session is worth, like I keep telling you guys, $1,000 at least. That's almost 1.7 million or something. This entire series. But we are getting people here to teach you for free. I know most oftentimes people don't value what is free. But if you want to help yourself, for me, I've leveraged on a lot of free value and I've got myself here without necessarily paying much. Okay, She said things like, is it ground rent? I'm struggling to get the spelling of that.
Just
And
normal
then land
ground rent.
speculation.
GROUND, ground, and then RENT, rent.
Thank you. By the end of this session, I'm going to look extensively with AI into that ground rent and then also the speculation so that I can come to terms with what it means. Really, we are building this and we're going to be helping a lot of people do it. Before we move on to the next question, Mr. Jake, I don't know if you still have anything to say with regards to government laws guiding any other thing we didn't say so that we have that place trashed out.
Yes.
Anything that maybe we didn't mention.
Okay, so I feel like we've already shed light. I initially talked about my own basic insights, surface knowledge on the whole Abuja current ongoing situation and how a lot of people. I think for ground laws and all of this, you need to wherever it is you're going to, because a lot of people are going to be watching this thing from across the globe, even wherever you are watching it from. I can just be specifically talking about one location, just like Mr. Abdul talked mentioned earlier. So if you're going to be investing in any location, whether it's a developed area or not developed area, you want to be sure that you're working with a professional. It's very important to work with a professional that's going to guide you through so that they can also share industry knowledge on how you can go around it. So once you're doing this, you want to also invest time in knowledge. Know what are the ground laws, not just ground, know what are the laws guiding investing in that location, real estate laws in that location, so that when you're taking these steps, you know the things you need to do. Documentations are very, very important. It's very, very important that when you're doing your documentation, you can't just carry it out alone. You need to work with experts. Experts will let you know that what are the do's and don'ts in their locations. What are the things that are missing out in this documentation? So when you're investing, you know that okay, you're not missing out something. They don't give you land for somewhere that's another location and you're staying there. When it's time, when governments, they remember people and they want to start carrying out their their rigid laws, their laws and their consequences, you're not going to get affected. Now, you see how she mentioned about a lot of people are living in Lugbe, but then they can't go and perfect their documentation because they know that this place it's legally, it's not, you're not supposed to be here. These are places that were set out for government benefits, government, project and all, but you're living there because you got it cheap. So you want to be sure that you're buying into location. It is better on the long run that you buy where you buy and you stay safe than you go and buy somewhere cheap that you feel like, okay, you're going to stay for the now. And when your land have appreciated and you think you should be benefiting from it, government will just come and wipe your development away. So you want to be sure that you're actually taking time to check out the location, check out the zoning regulations in the axis. Also check out the land use act, and work with professionals to also check that the government the document they're giving you tallies, and also be sure about the land use act. It is very important that you're checking the land use act in that location as well as the documentation, land survey. You're checking that where they're giving you is where you are buying into. The document they're giving you is for where you're buying. So they don't give you land in Dugbe and the documentation is for Kuje. Okay, so that is just the surface knowledge. I just think you just need to invest in knowledge. I can't share you everything because I might be sharing for A and you are working on B. So you just want to make sure you're working with professionals. You can reach out to me in any location. You can reach out to me, Cynthia. You can reach out to the people lawyers, so that they can guide you through this. So thank you very much. I think that's the basic and surface knowledge and stuff I need to add.
Thank you for this wrap up. It really helps. See, one thing I've learned from this conversation is, I've observed that the average or the poor, actually, they always try to invest before they will learn how to. Like, they invest before learning. Whereas the reverse is the case for successful people. They learn before investing. Unsuccessful people will wait to buy until when the price has skyrocketed that is now no longer a place for land banking. Now they now want to come and buy. But successful people will look for that bush that is the city of tomorrow. They will invest there in the next 15, 20 years. They know what they are doing. So learn. Okay, thank you so much. Now we are moving to the next part, which is part 8, growth and scalability. Assuming somebody has now invested, right? You've managed to get started, so you need to keep scaling. That's business. A lot of people are poor actually because they cannot learn to manage the little money they have so that they can multiply it. We should be good managers of resources. So if you have managed to have maybe a commission of 500,000, 1 million, or maybe 2 million from your struggles, maybe in terms of another thing or whatever it is, and you want to start a land banking journey, or maybe from your sales as a realtor. Obviously, we've talked about some of these things in our previous series. Then you might want to see how do you leverage on what you're already doing to scale. Because being an investor, meaning that you're going to be building generational wealth that keep building even when you are no longer alive. So investing in land banking is just one of the options. You must learn to grow the wealth and scale. We are going to be posting some questions and then we elaborate more on how to do this. If you're watching us for the first time, we've done this. This is a Billionaire Land Banker series. My name is A. Kabir with my guest, Mr. Jake, and then aka Miss Cynthia, the boss lady, Abuja boss lady. So please, let's listen to them. How can I scale my land banking investment for a long-term growth? Now, obviously, we're not talking about people that want to invest today and then maybe the next month or next two months, I want to cash out. No, people that are really ready to build generational wealth. So let's hear from you, Miss Cynthia.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. So the question is, how can you build generational wealth? How can you build what? Sorry, come again with the question.
I scale my how can I scale my land banking?
Okay. Now, so how can you scale your land banking investment? Now, one of the ways you want to scale is buy more than one plot. There's this people don't like it when you tell them to do these things, but that is how a lot of people who have actually made good money this thing, that's how they did it. When you want to go into land banking and you're hoping and you're looking to get maximum return from that particular investment, buy more than one. If, for instance, you're buying into a location like Kuje is going to be a mega city in no distance time, and you're buying into a city like Kuje, and you got these lands for 1 million. If you cannot afford an acre, 6 plots. If you can afford 3 plots, buy it. If you can afford 2 plots, buy it. Because in the long run, when you appreciate and you realize that you only have 1 plot, you'll not be happy with yourself. That's one. Secondly, when you have multiple plots, you have more option. You have the option of selling. You have the option of developing and living in it. You have the option of developing and renting it out. You have the option of developing and selling it. But if you have just 1 plot, you may not be able to do much with it. If you need money, the best option you have is to sell. I gave an example of my client that bought into Gruzape too. Now, he bought 1 plot. His elder brother bought another plot. And he came back and said, hey, Cynthia, I want to buy another plot, making it the 3rd plot. And he told me specifically, he said, this last one that I just bought now, my reason for buying this plot is so that when this place appreciates, I will sell this one and use the money to develop this other one. Specifically, he told me that is his intention for buying the 3rd plot. Now, that is a very smart way to look at land banking, because what he has done for himself is that he has bought into the future. Eventually, that place will develop. Eventually, that place will become more pricey. Now, did he change the value that he bought the plot? No. He invested, the first one he bought for 6.5, the second he bought for 7.5. Now, let's say he invested 7.5. Currently, that 7.5 is selling for 21 million. Now, give it 5 years. That 7 million may be worth, say, 60 million or 70 million or 80 million. It might even be up to 100 million in the next 5 years or in the next 10 years.
That's
Now, he
massive.
can just easily sell and use the money to develop. So even if he doesn't have extra money in his pockets to develop the other property, the proceeds from that particular one, he can get to a very reasonable length, if not even completely develop the house. But it will be enough for him to at least start and get to a reasonable length. Most likely, he might even get to roofing level before he can now be looking for maybe other funds to put into that particular property. But if he has not paid that 7.5 down, will he be able to get, let's be very modest, the 50 million ahead? No. Now calculate, check the difference between 7.5 and 50 million. And this, I am certain that in less than or within 5 years maximum, that particular property would have appreciated that much. So these are actually the ways that you can actually scale your land banking investment. Don't do one plot. If you want to go into land banking, if you can afford it, do more than one plot. You can decide to take a payment plan, do more than one. At minimum, do 2 plots. At the barest minimum, do 2 plots. Or if you can, buy an acre, buy 6 plots. Buy 6 plots. If you can do 10 plots, do it. Because when that place appreciates, you don't really need to do much again. All you need to do is sell. Dr. Olumide Emmanuel made mention of how he was able to grow his wealth because he bought some plots in hectares and he left it there for years. And then when he came back to sell that property, he raised good millions from that particular property. Imagine if he had bought 1 plot. Imagine if he had bought 1 plot that time. Other people would have actually owned that place because he's not the only one that has vision. Other people would have actually owned that place and you would have left money on the table. You would have left good money on the table. So it's very important when you're going to land banking, especially when you are setting about the infrastructure that is coming to that location. You know, the government's interest around that location. What are the closeness to amenities? What are the closeness to development hubs, industries? What are the closeness to places where things are happening? What was the thing that brought a big boom to Lugbe? Glory do. When Dunamis Church moved to Lugbe, Lugbe became the place. Because one big church was in that location. Now, River Park that is just right beside it, extremely expensive. In Lugbe, I don't think there is any estate in Lugbe that is as expensive as River Park. What gave you that leverage? The proximity to Dunamis Church, and then the fact that even within the estate right now, they have hospitals, they have universities, they have a lot of things inside that estate, and boom, the price skyrocketed. I think they are selling around 300 and something square meters up to 80 million in Lugbe, in River Park Estate. But in the last 5 years, in the last, let's say 7 years, they were begging people to buy Lugbe for 2.5 million, 1.5 million. They were saying it was too far, it was bush, it was this, it was that, until Dunamis Church went there. Now, Dunamis, Lugbe even now have ShopRites. Is that interesting? They have a lot of things around that location, right? You can literally live around.
Yeah, your network is fluctuating a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's breaking, but we are understanding. I don't know about other people, but I'm getting what you're saying.
Okay. But can you hear me clearly now?
Yes.
Okay. So like I was saying, it's very important that factors. I think in our last section we talked about some of the factors you consider when going into land banking. When these factors are in place, when you've ticked all these boxes in terms of your location where you want to invest in, don't do more. Don't do one plot. Do more than one plot, and you'll come back to thank me later. Thank you so much. I don't know if you have
See,
something else to add, Mr. G.
thank you. Thank you for this amazing answer. See,
Yeah,
just talk to me. You are just teaching me. See, I need to be frank with you. As she continue to talk, I begin to see, I don't know, I don't want to call it my foolishness, but like really, she's educating me on something. Guess what happened to me? True life story. Before I go into land banking, precisely the location she mentioned, GTEX land. I want to mention that here. This is not to say that I want to market GTEX land. But if I market it, it's even a good thing. The reason being that I've benefited not only through learning with Dr. Stephen Akintayo, but I've also invested and be able to get a lot of value. Let me tell you a true life story. I bought his book, Billionaire Land Banker. Go and get that book. I read in that book what Miss Cynthia is saying now, that each time you are buying a property, don't buy just one. Buy at least 6 plots. If you cannot afford to buy 6 plots, buy at least 2. True life story, I'm telling you. So my company, e-commerce, Acoville Tech Limited, for some of you that don't know my real business, I'm a co-founder of, that's my first business after leaving my lecturing work. Then the company decided that we should invest with Dr. Stephen Akintayo based on the fact that we've been seeing him online, we should trust him and all of that. With fear, we jump into investing into his Lube, that's Jasper Hillview.
yeah,
So
just
the day
yeah.
we were there, I can remember with fear, because we've never seen Dr. Stephen Akintayo. And the day we were going there, he had to attach us to people to take us there. So we couldn't even trust, but we need to just push and do the thing.
Yeah.
Then they told us the property is 5 million naira, that if we don't invest that day, it's going to shoot up. So now me and my team decided that, okay, let's put in 5 million and just test this. If Dr. Steven should do anything wrong, we're going to drag him on the internet. Based on, we're e-commerce guys, we know how to drag people. We can even advertise that you are fake, and we promote this. So we can do that much. And it's a damage, and I know he would don't want that. So we took that upon ourselves that, okay, let's risk this. We put in 5 million naira. Ask me, from 2022 to 2024 now, right?
Yeah.
That property from 5 million is currently now going for 37 million, and it's still counting.
The 10.5
That is 3
for the moment.
right? 3 years. A property has increased in value over 32 million. Now, guess where I said my foolishness? Oh, maybe I was not learning enough, or maybe I was not using the knowledge. Because I know that, and so I can afford to even pay them the 5 million and say, give me 2 plots. Instrumentally, I will pay the rest. But I didn't do that. And I have the knowledge. I was afraid. In case you are watching this live session right now, if you are not learning, I think there's something wrong. Anyway, you might want to learn the hard way, the way I learned. What Miss Cynthia was saying right away, let me understood that if I would have bought 3 plots, it means that I have 37 million times 3. It means that in every of the plots, I have 32 million naira as profit right now. I can afford to sell 2, which means I have 64 million naira extra to be able to develop one of the land. Are you learning?
Yeah. So
see, I tell people that thank you very much, Dr. Stephen Akintayo, for opening my eyes. I'm still learning. Thank you, experts we have here today. And I just hope that the viewer will take this information so relevant and be able to capitalize on it. We are not just coming here to say things without knowing what we are doing, right? Like I tell some of you, I don't want to take much longer time, but I believe that you got the message. So, Mr. Jake, can you add on what Ms. Cynthia has said? Perhaps you have another perspective you want to look at. Otherwise, we can move. If you have, then let's do more of it, please.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Ms. Cynthia has basically touched on the head on how you can get the most out of from real estate investment, especially land banking, because one of the important things you need to know firstly when you're getting into land banking is how can I make the most out of it? As long as you know that, yes, I am doing this with the right organization, I'm doing this with the right expert, everything is genuine, everything is clear. How can I make the most? Firstly, you're getting into as, is this good? Is this a good investment? Once you tick that box, yes, it is. It is how can I make the most? And the way you can make the most is about, getting more than you're supposed to get. Buy more. You've heard Mr. Kabir, who he talked about the property he bought for 5 million is currently what actually is not. It's not just 37. It's 37.5 now. 37.5 million. Just imagine he bought more than one. Just imagine he bought two. Just imagine he bought an acre. You would have made a ridiculous amount of money. And right now, that estate is talking about is developed. There are houses everywhere, like around. People are living there. It's well developed. So you can move in now and say, okay, I want to go and build a house there. You will just sell maybe like 2 plots there. You use the money from the 2 plots, 37.5 times 2. That's over almost 80, I think 80 or 90 something million. Now, yes,
85
you
million.
use it's 5 million, yes. You need to go and start projects on 2. On that's you've made a ridiculous amount of money. So first you want to get the most out of it, buy more than one plot. And once you buy more than one plot, that's when you're now thinking about reinvesting that money. You see, it is a step. If you've bought more than one plot, now you've made more money from selling it. If you sell 2, let's say you buy 6 now and you sell 2 from it, you reinvest the profit. She talked about somebody who wanted to buy somewhere in Guzapit. Was it talking about Guzapit 2? Yes, Guzapit 2. So that once he buys 2, he can sell 1 and to develop. Now that is reinvesting the profit. If you sell 1, you've made profit. You reinvest the profit either into development or you reinvest the profit into buying more locations. Now, this is an important thing with investment. A lot of people think that and this is where the rich, the wealthy people, make the most out of their money. For regular people, they advise you to invest. You've invested, now you've made profit, and you think like, oh, I've made profit, let me go and squander it. No, you reinvest it back into that investment or whatever it is to make more money. The way you build wealth is by reinvesting the profit you get and you keep building. Now, you're not just using your capital to make money, you're using your profits to make money. That's how you make wealth. So you reinvest your profits into other projects or other things that are going to make you make money. I made money through land banking. You invest it into land banking and you make more money. So once you've taken advantage of buying more than one plot, use your money and you've built money, now you invest the profits. That's one way. Another way you should be thinking about is something I always advise everybody. You diversify your investments. This is where you can build wealth. Now, diversifying your investment is across different locations and across different sectors. Just look at how, where am I going to, okay, just imagine now you're investing in 75 million. Yes, that's actually correct. You're investing in Lugbe, just as let's use Mr. Kabir, which is giving a testimony here. Invested in Lugbe, you bought more than one plot. You let's say you bought an acre, two of the acre. That's an acre is 6 plots. You sell 2 acres from there. That's your profit. You've gotten profit from your investment. Now these are steps. You firstly, let's take it to steps so that it's going to be very, very understandable. Once you buy you invest in real estate, you buy more than one plot, let's say an acre, you make gain, you make profit. Now the profit, rather than squandering it, you reinvest it. Now once you've gotten to reinvesting stage, now the thing you should be looking at is diversifying that investment. You can invest in that location and the other money, look for another location or another place to invest. That's the basic way to go around real estate. You need to diversify your investment across different regions and across different sectors. You can choose to invest now you've made over 37 billion. You can choose to go and buy a developed property and be making active income from it. Shortlets, residential locations, residential property, so that you can make active income. Now you don't have to wait for 5 to 10 years for you to make money. You can just wait. Every year you'll be getting active income from your investment. Remember, this is a profit that you got from the real estate. Now you are reinvesting it into something that will be giving you active income. Now you've diversified your investment from just land banking to making active income in residential property. Now you're going to be making cash flow, and you're going to be making passive income at the same time. So you need to be sure that you're doing the things right. It's step-by-step process. It's ABC. That's why we talk about you need to work with professionals. You can reach out to anybody here, so they will give you the right guiding steps. A lot of people would not know how to go around this if you don't work with professionals to know how to go around this. So this is basically the steps I'm going to tell you. I'm going to capitalize firstly on Miss Cynthia's insight on, you want to be able to acquire more. How can you make more? Buy more property. Then you can, once you've started getting gain, you reinvest the profits. And once you've started reinvesting it, make sure that you are diversifying it across different sectors. You get me? So that's the basic knowledge I can share about this.
Thank you very much, Mr.
There's
J. Thank you very
something I
much.
wanted to add.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, so when we were talking about diversifying, it also came to mind that when you're doing real estate, don't just do residential real estate. A lot of people focus only on housing, residential. Now the question is, for instance, if you're buying into an estate and the estate is going to have around say 100 units of housing, don't you think that there will be a need for supermarkets in that place?
Exactly.
Like a shopping mall. Don't you think that there might be a need or a provision for school in that particular location?
Exactly.
So when diversifying your investment, you should also look at commercial real estate.
Exactly. Very important.
Commercial real estate. Don't just do only residential real estate. Consider commercial real estate. Because if in an estate, in every location, there is need for closeness to market. So if there is a shopping mall, if there's a plaza inside the estate, it makes life easier for people within the estate. So you might buy that space for a shopping mall, build it, and rent it out to residents. So you're making money from them, because definitely people want to have shops. I don't think there's any estate that is big. Even sometimes small estates do have shops where they sell things to make life easy for the residents. Now imagine in a place where the estate is really massive, say the estate is up to 5 hectares. They sell residential and they also usually have commercial plots for sale. So instead of just doing only residential, you might want to consider also investing in commercial plots. Then also you might also consider investing in multiple states, different locations. Don't just do only in Abuja. In Abuja, you also want to do different locations within Abuja. You want to do Kuje, you want to do Kashi, you want to do Guzape, Maitama, Katampe, different locations within Abuja. Then also when you now leave, you get to a point, you leave Abuja, you want to also start to go into the Lagos market, because you don't want to leave money on the table. You want to enter the Lagos market. You want to go, if you go to Lagos market, okay, what do you think is the best for me? Do you think this location will be perfect for service apartments? You want to start getting property that maybe is allocated for blocks of flats, so that you can convert those blocks of flats to service apartments. You want to rather build those blocks of flats so that you can rent it out for rental purpose. So you want to be able to harmonize and know, okay, what do you really want? Like I said, there was a section I had, a 30 days life journey I did earlier last month. This month, it was last month stroke this month. And I kept talking about the need for you to have a plan. Before going into real estate, what is your plan? You need to set clear goals. You need to set clear goals so that you are able to map out, to know, okay, I've done in this location, I've done in this location. Where else do I go? How do I go about it? What's the next thing to do? Am I doing real estate short term or long term? It will guide you to be able to know how to go into real estate and make maximum return on your investment. And then the need for working with experts cannot be overemphasized, because if you don't work with experts, if you don't work with people who are knowledgeable about the industry, you may not really have the right guidance on how to go about it. You may not really know what is best for this particular location, except you have people who can tell you, who can guide you, who can direct you on what to do and how to go about it to ensure that you are making maximum return on your investment. Thank you so much.
See, you are done with this topic. I don't want to push it more than this, right? See, you keep mentioning you don't want to leave money on the table.
Yes.
You want to leverage on people's knowledge and expertise. see, I've been jotting. One thing with me is that I'm in this session, like I host it, but I'm learning. This document you are seeing here, this is 10 years structure of my life. You can see I've written as something. I don't want to show you, don't worry. But the thing is, you must have plans, mention it, and your plan must be clearly written down. You cannot afford to walk through the life with your eyes closed. That's what most of you are doing, and that's why you still wonder why you are poor. Open your eyes. How do you do it? These are some of the things we are teaching you on this my channel. I want to read some of the comments. Sorry, Mr. Jake say something that got my. He say in his comments he always keep saying, "How can I? How can I?" I learned this just yesterday from Brian Tracy. He said, "Each time you have problem, ask, how can I? How can I? Challenges, how can I?" It will trigger your head to look for the answer. But if you say, "I can't," this is frustrating. This is difficult. Then there you have it. You go down. Thank you so much for all of this. All of these insights. Really, I'm benefiting from it. I want to read some of the comments. Thank you for those who are really commenting and actually trying to make this session interactive. Miss Cynthia, she's having some network issues. Let me bring her back. So please, the least you can do for us is to share to at least 10 persons, 10 to 50. Share, comment. You are watching us right now. You are gaining value. These people are taking their time to serve you, give you the insight you need to be able to go. Somebody said, that is Fadila Mansanawa said, I am inspired. Say inspired. So you see, a lot of inspiration are coming. You are watching right now, you are inspired, you are not even saying anything. The least you can do. And that's why a lot of people are not successful actually. They don't want to give. Typing, what does it take you to type? What does it take you to share? Thank you. Okay, this is our guest. He said massive
Massive
value. Really, really,
value. I'm
it's
gaining
massive.
value. I'm not just here to speak. I'm also learning. So I realize that a lot of times once you share, you learn. You get me? So sometimes when I'm even sharing some stuff to some people, I realize that there's some stuff I say, it just comes to mind, and I think, oh, this makes sense. This makes sense. So it's very important that you pay attention to wherever space you're in, not just to talk. You listen. They tell you listening is one of the key factors to learning stuff. So I'm learning. I've learned a lot from these two industrials back there, and just like Mr. Akabe is writing. Me too, I'm also writing. I have like 2 books here. I've jotted stuff. So I'm learning. I'm learning a lot, and it's quite interesting. So thank you very much for sharing your
Really,
knowledge.
I need to take out my time to appreciate you guys. I know this might not mean much to you, but to me, I take it to heart. And I know that we are the future billionaires. I want us to sit in a round table someday and say, okay, can we merge like 5 billion together? And
Yes,
then let's try
sir.
to do a project. That's the
Yes,
future I'm looking
sir.
at. So thank you. I appreciate it from my heart.
Thank you
And
so much.
we need to wrap up with a simple thing. This is how I want it to go. Let's each and every one of us give a testimony, a true life story, right? That's something that could resonate with people. A lot of people, it's difficult for them to take action. Like they have listened to this, they are inspired, but let's get into action. They are really finding it difficult to start taking the small steps. Obviously, we want you to focus on 2 things. Number one is find some way to encourage them, to make them see value in the difficulties. A lot of people separate hardship, like they want to be comfortable, but they want to succeed, which I often tell people that is never happening. If you see how I woke up this morning, I slept just around 3 o'clock or so, and I had to rush here to start this live session. And as soon as I'm done here, I have my task for the day. It's too much that I cannot even afford to give. So encourage them through your words, like parting words, and also try to give testimonies to make them believe that even though it is hard, but the end is just what you should be looking at. So don't look at your current situation. I think we should start with Miss Cynthia. Yes. I think the reason why I have a reason of choosing her to start with, but I will not tell you. It might not be
Okay,
your own life story. It can be your own life. It can be some other person's. It's okay.
okay. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So, one thing I would say, if you're listening to me out there, is know what you want and go for it. know what you want and go for it. And it starts with getting started. I am one person that I know procrastination and me will have been like this. I go do am, I go do am, I go do am, I go do am. It is well, my dear. If you don't start, it will not be done. It will never be done. So just get started. Sometimes even when you start, the picture is not clear. You don't know what you're going to anticipate. You don't know what you're going to see ahead. But when you get started, it begins to make sense. It begins to make sense. I want to give a practical example on my journey so far. I know I've been going for training, like to the point that me and training were like this. I did not hear that there is a training on real estate. That's why I did not attend. Or maybe there's something really holding me back. Because I sit my mom in her shop sometimes when she's not around. So maybe in situation when I'm in the shop, I can't go out. But me and training were like this. And it got to a point that one of my senior friends, she told me something. She said, Cynthia, you have learned enough. What you need right now is implementation. Because no matter what we say here, some of us here, we have learned this, we have had these things over and over and over and over. So even as you're saying it, it's not new to you. It's not new. You know these things already. You know, there's a point when you know something, when someone is, it no longer interests you because you've been hearing these things, you've been seeing these things. But what will make a difference in your life is the moment we decide to get started. I think the first day we talked about how you can actually go into land banking even if you don't have money. If you don't have the money to afford it. And one of the ways we looked at was actually becoming an agent yourself. And that is how I started. That is how I started. And I know how many plots I currently have and counting. And we've not stopped. We'll keep proceeding. We'll keep making progress. Now, if you're thinking, how do I start? How do I go about this? Anytime you're having that challenge of how do I start? How do I go about it? Remember that there was one Miss Cynthia who hated marketing with the whole of her life. Me and marketing were like this, wide apart. Like I had this mindset about marketers and people who work in hotels, that they are low-key prostitutes. There's nothing you will tell me. Marketers, provided you are doing marketing. Now shower work you they do now, because now your body they go sell. That was the mindset I had about marketers, and then people that works in hotel. So anything that make me do before you even complete it, I'm off.
Oh,
I don't even want to hear it. But when I started real estate, there was something I told myself. I said, there is nothing on any account that will make me have anything to do with my clients sexually. Except if on mutual understanding, we decide to get into a relationship. Because I'm single. And who knows, maybe one of my clients become my husband. Do you know?
Abuja.
So, yeah. I'm being very honest. I'm being very honest and open. I'm being very
Or maybe
honest.
one of your viewers.
Do you know? You get it. So I was being very determined. I told myself, on no account will I have anything to do with any client sexually on the basis of that client wanting to buy that property. Because oftentimes, even when you do those things, the best they can do is maybe give you 100,000, give you 50,000, and they'll keep posting you, I will buy it, I will buy it. And my bank is having this challenge. At the end of the day, they don't collect it, they don't collect. You won't see them to buy. And then even the ones that will buy, The thing is, why would I give you my body and then you will buy the property in your name? You're not buying that property in my name, oh. You're buying the property in your name. When that property appreciates, it's appreciating in your own pocket, not in my pocket. And I will still have to give you my body to help you to build wealth. It doesn't make any logical sense to me. Because what I am doing is, I am begging you to make you richer. I'm not giving you my body to make you richer. No, if you are buying the property in my name, maybe, just maybe, I would have considered. But you're not buying it in my name. I'm just saying, no, that's on a lighter note, actually. That's on a very lighter note. But then, you're not buying it in my name.
I love your, like, you are being real. I can feel it.
You're not buying it in my name, so why do I have to give you my body? Why? If you're not going to deal, Allah, bye-bye. I have a lot of them, a whole lot of them. The moment I start smelling it, I give you space. The moment I start to smell it, and sometimes I can even laugh with you. If you say, let's hang out, provided there is an open space, we go and eat that chicken, we'll chop it, we'll hang out normally. But when you begin to go into another dimension, from day one, I will tell you, I know I don't even know how to, there's this thing that people will say, okay, why not eat the money now? This man get money, chop money and run. I know they chop wetin go hook me for truth. I like to be very, very plain. And this I'm saying it to every female realtor out there, or every female marketer out there. Do not exchange your body for any transaction. It's not worth it. It is not worth it, I tell you the truth. Even if now 1 billion the person won't buy, it is not worth it. Because most times, those people that will ask for your body before they transact with you, they will end up not buying that property. Oftentimes, some people, they will collect you when you go out for marketing. They will give you their information, their contact and all that. They know within themselves, they know that they will not buy, but they want to lead you on. They want to lead you on. They want to make you feel good. Once they get what they want, you call them tire. They will not pick your call. They will not pick your call. So it is very, very important and key that you set standards. Set standard. This is what you can do. This is what you cannot do when it comes to your transactions. Set standards. So once you have those standards in place, you are able to navigate through. Some people will say, hey, you are saying this thing because you are advantaged. It's because you are making sense. I wish you only know how my journey has been, because it has really been hectic. There are sometimes that months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, no sales. But we still keep going. You just keep going, just keep pushing, just keep pushing. There was a time that I got tired because I was working in a company, and I said, okay, no, let me just do this on a freelance basis so that I can have opportunities to sell for multiple companies. I sold. It got to a point, and then sales ceased for like almost 6 months. No sales. It was as if my village people were following me that period. No sales. And I thought, oh, what to do? What can I do? What can I do? I said, okay, let me just go and get a job. Let me go back to a company. At least as I'm also working, I'm getting salary that will help me to sustain me. I'm also gaining experience. So I went back to work. I worked with them for about 5 months. No, it wasn't up to 5 months. I was there February, March, April, May, June. I left them in June. Till that 5 months, still like that, no sales. Then the company were like, they cannot be paying me complete salary where I'm not making any profit for them. Then luckily for me, I think I was able to make one sales from a that particular company. I sold for another company for, I think the plot was for, was it 4.5 million? Yeah. I think the commission was around 200 and something thousand. That same month, they now cut my salary. They pay me, I think my salary then was 80,000. They now paid me 50,000 that month. I said, on top this transport, we don't cost and everything. I said, no. So I met a friend of mine, and then we sat down, we analyzing it. He asked me that, when you were at home, the period when you were at home, how much did you make cumulatively? And I calculated it. I realized that within that period, I had actually made about 1.2 million or so on commission. So it was like, then if being at home, you were able to do this. Now, being at home is not like I was just at home lying down. More like I was not working directly under a company. I'm not on that salary. Do you understand? But he said, if being on your own, you're able to make this much, I think what you just need to do is to amplify what you know, and you'll be able to make more. And I can tell you that between July this year, I'm talking of this happened this year, between July to now that we are speaking, I've made close to, I don't want to be calling figures though. I don't want to be calling figures, but then but I know I've made roughly I've made roughly about 5 million on commission.
That's massive.
You understand? On commission only. So it's very important and key that you just know what you want and then go for it. If you want to do, if you're looking at going into what's it called, real estate, you want to go into sales, you can meet any of us to guide you, to put you through. It's free. We'll not charge you. Trust us, we'll not charge you. We'll put you through for free so that you can actually get started. And then if you also have funds that you want to put into real estate, just if you need help with consultancy, we'll do free consultancy for you, we'll not charge you. Just reach out to us and then we'll help you get started. Sorry, I've eaten so much into the time sharing my little story.
I understand, but it's very important for the viewer. You said two things that got my attention. A lot of things got my attention, but I noted down some things. You know, it's like at a point you say it's like your village people. If you are a viewer today, there's no village people. We are the village people, yourself, ourselves, myself, and if you are the one stopping your progress. I know she obviously said that, normally that's what a lot of us will say, like Nigerians or many other places you are watching us from. The village people is actually you are the one. So, salary mindset again, she mentioned, I think I did a video some days back. I was talking about those who will never ever get rich. And one of those people I mentioned is people that have salary mentality. It's possible you are working under somebody, they are even paying you the salary, but don't pay attention to salary. Don't pay attention to salary. I keep telling people that what you pay attention to is what will pay you. If you pay attention to salary, it's salary that will pay you. If you pay attention to development and personal learning, it's what will pay you eventually. So I don't know if you get what I mean. Thank you so much, Miss Cynthia. You broke it down. You've given us like from real life story, and I was happy that you are being vulnerable. Like you just open up. You can trust this kind of people. Like they can tell you what the journey looks like. And that's one of the things I look up to when I want to partner with people. How vulnerable they are, are they trying to just cover up some things, making some things look so special? Because if you are always trying to cover up, you are going to be poor. You are doing TikTok, telling people what you are not. You're going to be poor. You're going to be spending money for nothing. Thank you, Miss Cynthia. Mr. Jake, please, let's have you. Give us some kind of wrapping up advice and maybe personal experience or other people's experience that will actually make people know that this is a journey that is worth it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So thank you so much, Ms. Cynthia, for sharing. Thank you, Mr. Kabir, as well. See, from everything that I've heard about her experience, she has talked about action. She has talked about the profit she's making now. The profit she's making now. So it still brings me to there was something Mr. Kabir said now. I was trying to digest that, and all of a sudden my brain just snapped, and I don't know where that. So I'm going to share with you. See, if just like everything she has shared, so if she hadn't taken action, would she be making all this profit she's making now?
No, sir.
If she has not done it, will she be making all the profits she's making now? So there's something I want you to digest. You should always think about. See, if you don't take that action now, where would you be in the future? Where would you be 1 month from now? You see, every time you want to do something, they will ask you. I realize that a bunch of people I've been trying to work with lately. They will tell me, Jake, write your 1 year goal and send to me. Jake, what do you want to be in the next 1 year? What do you want to be? They are so curious about where you want to be. They want to know what you want to be before they choose if they will work with you or not. So these people they are very serious on. You see how Mr. Kabi was talking about his plan. He already wrote down his plan for his life plan. He wrote it out. So these are the actions that are going to make you determine if you're serious about what you want to do or not. Now, once you already know what you want, it is, are you taking action on it? So if you don't take action with what you want to be, do you want to be a real estate professional? If you don't take action with it now, where would you be in the future? You get me? So if you don't see, we are talking about real estate here. If you don't buy that plot, you don't invest now, do you think you'll be making profit in the future? No. Next year, you will still be watching and be gaining knowledge on how to invest, but you are just gaining knowledge. You're not taking action. So there's no result, no profit for anybody that's not taking action. The profit comes when you start taking action. Now, personal experience with action. So I'll just bring the least thing that came in with me. So there was a day I've heard so many stories. I want to do this, I want to do that. One of the things I said to myself that I wanted to do was I wanted to start doing live sessions. I wanted to go in. I want the internet to see my face well, often. I want to see my face. And I used to talk about, I want to go online. I want to go and buy lights. I want to go and buy ring light. I want to buy this and that. I want to go and buy a house. I'll be doing studio. Guy, start. I held on to that start for a very long time until one day I learned something new. I was like, you know what? The thing is just to start, right? Just for me to start. Why don't I just start? Then I realized that start is a big thing for me until I got something new on how I started taking my action now. It is vows, making vows. I realized that every time I say to myself, you know what, I vow I'm going to do this stuff. Do or die, I'm going to do it. So that was my own keyword to taking action. I vowed I'm going to, and I just said to myself, you know what, see, I vow I'm going to start my life tomorrow. The next morning, when I remembered the vow, I took my phone up, started that. I was like, you know what, I'm going to start now. No ring lights. If you guys can go to my page, you see it. I just went on live on Facebook. I'm like, you know what, I said I want to start going live. There's no ring light. This is me starting, and I'm going to be sure that I do this every day. And that was just it. I took that action, anyhow. So sometimes you need to tell yourself that what are the small steps you need to take to start. People are talking about how they want to take, thank you, Mr. Gabriel. People are talking about how they want to, start doing stuff. You want to invest in land. Don't be waiting till you have 1 billion to invest. You can start with 1. Don't be looking, because of you are seeing how Pastor Olumide is talking about how he has hectares of land, he's selling his land for 100 million. They started somewhere. He didn't start by that, though. All these people didn't start where they are. They started somewhere. So you want to join in. Think about, firstly, what are the small steps I can take to start? Because when you set small steps and very, very small achievable step, those will push you to do it. And once you do it, you are in. You need to realize something that in taking action, it is starting. Once you start, then you learn across the way. That's basically entrepreneurship journey. Nobody knows where he's going to be as being an entrepreneur. You need to start. Once you start, then you know if you're going to, if you fall or you stand. It is a gallop. So firstly, start. Once you start, then you cannot think about, or firstly, think about what are the small steps you're going to take to start. Once you start, then you now start taking massive action from there. Same thing with me. I said to myself that, you know what, I cannot just be waiting until I buy ring light and I buy lights and I buy stand and do this before I start doing my life. From there, I started on the morning. I just took my phone on my phone, did that live. Even from there, I've been going. People started, and you realize that once you start, people are going to encourage you. These are gingers. If nobody encourage you, encourage yourself. I've been going on Facebook Live for a very long time. Sometimes it's just me talking to myself, and I still go there. And I'm doing it, and regardless, Mr. Kabir seems like he can relate. So you just talk, you do it. Encourage yourself. Now, people are watching you grow. That's the interesting thing. The interesting thing is you doing it alone. When you now start seeing that massive action, you now be remembering how people are not joining me and you'll be excited. So I can do this. Now, when you want to do other things and nobody's watching, you will not even mind. You just keep doing it. So take massive action. Start from where you are. Start from where you are. Then, you start scaling from there. Imagine, interesting thing. When you're even starting from where you are, you'll be learning things. Nobody's going to be criticizing you. Don't you get it? I'm on Facebook Live now. I'm doing. If I tap on speak rubbish English, nobody is going to. They will watch the video after. When they watch it, I must have gotten better. You get me? So if you start where you are, the interesting is your learning phase. You invest with one property, is your learning phase. Now, Mr. Kabe already knows that once I see a good location to invest, I will buy more than one plot because I don't want to go and learn. He already learned that in his own phase. So start
the hard way.
You learn, yes, you learn the hard way. You learn the hard way. So if you don't start now, you're not going to know the mistakes and what to go around. The things you need to improve on. Start now. I know how I need to post to do right photo. I know how to go online. I know how to just stuff you learn when you start. Everything, I'm just basically sharing inside. You see, everything Miss Cynthia talked about, everything started as taking action. When she took action, she started knowing when to do better. The days that there were no sale, I bet now she knows how to go around those kind of faces better. When she started on, there are things that she must have done that must have been mistake, but because of she started and she's doing it, she knows how to get better. This relates to me. If I start telling you my own story, you think it's the same thing, but everything relies on taking action. You take action and you learn along the way. So please start where you are today and think about what are the easy things I can do to start. Like me, when I started with my live, I said like, I need to start with going on live every day. I took my phone, it was just a normal selfie video, and as time went by, I started buying stand, saying that, okay, if I buy stand, I can easily stand like this and be talking. People will see my hand rather than just see my face. Those are things I realized while I started. So please start today. And these are the same way with everybody that's investing. A lot of people started investing in real estate when they started hearing people and they realized, what, let me just start with one plot. If I start with one plot, eventually I'm going to buy more plots. I might not be able to buy a plot of 10 million. Go and buy the ones that you can buy for 200,000. Remember, that is them starting small. And as time went by, they know that, yes, I want to have more. I want the feeling of having more. And they started buying. Now they're taking more action and they're buying. And I have a lot of people who started out that they are small action. Do you think I said to myself that I just said something that if you don't take action now, what will be the things you're going to lose? If those people that bought those lands for 200,000, for 1 million, they didn't buy. Do you think that the profit? Just imagine Mr. Kabir talked about he bought a land for 5 million and now it's almost at 7 million. Do you think if he didn't buy that 5 million, do you think he would have made over 32 million in profit right now? Now, that is the profit you make on the long run. So you need to be thinking about that profit. What are the things I'm going to make in the long run? I think those are going to also drive you. Me, I know that this live, if I didn't start those live sessions today, I probably wouldn't, be having been invited to come on here, or a lot of people talking about engagement. Jake, I'm seeing you on live. Please, let's collaborate. Let's do live sessions together. Now, these are profits that are coming in, and in the future, I have bigger goals. I want to bring industry experts and billionaires on my live sessions, and I know that this is going to happen. This is the long run, but now I need to learn all the things that are right, so that those people will see me as an industry expert. Benefits. You need to start. So think big. Me, I'm telling you my big goals. My big goals is the people I want to bring in, but everything started with me taking action. So please take action today. Then you start thinking big on the things that are going to benefit, going to profit you. So thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate this, being here with this industry expert. I'm looking forward to, all the bigger days that we're going to have after this, because this is just the beginning phase for us. You're seeing us now. Miss Cynthia was telling you about, you can reach out to us. It's going to be free consultation. I'm saying, yes, so for now, if you come in at 10 years time, then I'm blown. I'll be charging like $10,000 for 30 seconds, 30 minutes, consultation, and you want to tell me free, they play. Don't reach out now and get and get this free time.
Thank you so much, sir. You blow my brain in such a way that I don't even know where to start from.
Thank you
guys so much from my heart.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
My own part of the wrap up. Like, please just permit me, maybe within 3 minutes.
Yeah, sure, sir.
This information I want to pass is very important. I picked few things from Mr. Jake's conclusion, and I want to share. A lady reached out to me in Zambia about 3 days ago that her business is crumbling. She's into logistics.
Mm.
And she said she offered to pay $1,000, but that she wants to pay half, $500 before we get started. One thing with me that I've noticed right now is that I can help you raise your business from, even without business, don't even have a business, just come to me. I can help you raise to go to places because I'm doing it and I'm already raising others. There you are. If you are watching us right now and you don't know what to do, like they say, just hook up to any of us. Let me break down some of the things Mr. Jake has said in case you are not getting it. I picked 14 that are really relevant to my journey. Like I'm going to put them into place. I've noted them down. Number one, he said take massive action. See, it's not just anyhow action now. Like you're going to push yourself so hard and do things in a bigger way. Number two, he said take vow. Like vow that I'm going to do this no matter what. I'm going to do it, by the way, regardless of my situation, regardless of what I'm going through, I must do it. Whether I have money or not, I must do it. How can I do it? And then get ahead to do it. Then the third thing he said is that start from where you are. Oh my God, this guy, you don't know, you really do not know the level of value you are giving. He says start from where you are. Don't wait until you get everything set. Obviously, the poor people always want to start when everything is ready. But if everything is ready, why are you then starting again? If you already have money, why are you getting money? Right? And the last one, he said, think big. Oh my God, my head is too small. But
yes, very important.
I want to break one of the parts. Say, Val, see what my own personal story. Just like him, I vowed I'm going to appear 1,000 days on the internet. Yesterday was day 68. Right? Is it 670? I don't remember. Right? So, and I'm doing this, I'm getting better. I get to meet people like Miss Cynthia, Mr. Jake himself through this thing. And more are coming. Some people are even chatting me already that can you bring me on your live session? Guess what? It's amazing. It's amazing. I was waiting for ring light and everything. You might be looking at me like I'm not posh, right? But this thing I'm doing is going to buy iPhone, like 10 iPhone. If some of you noticed, some days back when we are doing it, the network keep going on and off. But look at it today. We learn on the job.
Exactly.
Then I also promised myself that I'm going to write 100 books. It will choke me. But in my lifetime, the least books I will write is 100 books. I've written one already on e-commerce. Online sales, a proven strategy on how to get your e-commerce success. Go to Amazon, you're going to see it there. Then I also promised myself that I'm going to read 1,000 financial books. Guess what? I've read I think about 6, 7 this year.
Wow,
so, and I'm still counting.
That's amazing.
You just have to, and also finally, the biggest of all, I'm going to make 1 million people make $1 million each. If you want to be part of them, consider following us.
That's a massive action. Thinking big.
Thank you so much. Now, finally, I have a guy that was living in my BQ. This just some few months back, about 2 months. He was living in my BQ, and then he was struggling with this real estate thing. He will go, he will come to me, we'll be talking and all of that. That guy recently, just the last 2 months, he sold a property that is 1.2 billion. 1.2 billion. The commission that was given to him, he used the entire money to go and rent, like he paid upfront 2 years for an apartment that has, I think up to 7 or 8, 6 bedrooms, right? He paid upfront 2 years. Now he's bringing at the price of, I don't know what price they gave him, but he's now renting out 6 million each, like 6 million naira each for 6.5. Sorry, somebody is reminding me here. Obviously, my crime partner in terms of building wealth. We're always together. 6.5 million is renting out each. Like for the first year, he already gotten back the money he used to rent the 2 years upfront. I don't know if you get.
Yes.
And this guy, the next year again, is going to rent it out. That's pure profit. That guy has moved out of my BQ. He's now taking one of the apartment 4-bedroom for himself for free. Are we learning?
Massive.
We're going to stop here, and I know that you've gotten massive value. Take massive action. I don't know if my co-hosts or my guest speaker have anything to wrap up with, but with me, I'm done with this session, and we're done with this land banking. If you really take value, if you really get value, please, the least you can do if you are watching us on YouTube, wherever, subscribe, share, follow up with these people in case you want to invest. At least, because there's a lot you can do to them too. It's give and take, actually. If you go to them, there's every possibility that you buy properties through them or you buy their own property. It means value to them. And by the time you buy that, they're going to be guiding you for free. So it's give and take. But poor people don't have this mindset of give and take. They just think you are here to cheat them. You are here to sell to them. And they end up being broke and poor, wondering why they are poor. Thank you for watching us today. My name is A.A. Kabir, and with Miss Cynthia, aka Abuja Boss Lady, and also our international man, Mr. Jake. Thank you for coming here. We
Thank you
appreciate
so
you.
much,
You
Mr.
can search
Kabir.
them.
Thank you.
You can search
Thank you.
their media handles, Jake A. Ihei.
Yes.
You can search for Cynthia Jake. Just search anyway. Myself, A.A. Kabir Abdulkadir Akoi Kabir. That's my full name. Thank you for joining this live session. Thank you for watching, and see you some other time. In case you have something to say, you can say. Otherwise, let's wrap up and then get out of here.
Cynthia, do you have anything to share with?
Oh, I'm muted. Okay, I think I just want to say thank you so much for bringing this up, and I want to believe that we'll bring out as much value as possible, as much value as possible. Whoever needs to take action can take action with all that we have said, and it always starts with taking action. If you don't take action, you still remain in that particular spot. But once you take action, you begin to make progress. When he was talking about he's going live, I remember when I started my own live section too. It wasn't easy, but then I have to get started. And waking up every morning at 8 a.m. to come live was not funny. Sometimes it was just me and my phone, and I'm greeting the audience that I'm not seeing. But I stopped doing that for 20
Yes,
years.
I know.
Sometimes when I'll
It
have
happens.
audience, live audience, there are some other times when there's no live audience, but I always will assume that they are there. So I will always greet them.
Yes.
I will greet them, and then I will go on with my section, and it was powerful. It was powerful. We were able to do the 30 days. It was very powerful. So yeah, just get started.
It's normal, don't worry. Even House of Rep needs to take that.
Just
So thank you everybody
Never,
for joining. Thank you for joining.
never
You want
taking
to,
negative action.
yes, you want to take actions today. Start today. Start from where you are. Reach out to people that you think are going to encourage you. Again, you need to think what are you really aiming at? What is driving you? Like me, they always ask me what is driving you. I realize that the people I've been getting interacted with, working with, those people, the people I've been networking with, they are also driving me towards betterment. So you need to also look at which are the people that are in your circle. Your circle is very important. See, they'll tell you ways to get to building wealth. For becoming a millionaire is what you know, the skills you know, the things you do. No, the things you know. Then once you want to get into the billionaire sector, it is who you know that is going to take you there. It's not what you know anymore, because now you want to get to be with billionaires. You need to network with fellow billionaires that are going to drag you there. So you want to be better, network with people that are better. Your circle is very important. The people that you are spending your time with, these are the kind of people that are going to impact your life. The things they will ask you. Sometimes I chill with people, I talk with people, and they ask me questions that you ask me. There are some questions you ask me and I'll just reply you. There are some questions you ask me and I have to think and like how, what was this? People asking you what is driving you. I have to sit back and think of what the things are driving me. So you want to elevate your network of people, and it's also going to easily help you get to where you want to be today. So thank you very much, Mr. Gabi. I really appreciate you for hosting this. I hope we can do this more often. So you guys should just stay tuned. We're going to work around something we're going to do next, so that we can educate people, and in the future, I believe all this is going to pay off. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miss Cynthia. It's been amazing, having this, learning with you the past couple of weeks. And thank you very much, Mr. Kabir. I'm going to sign up for that e-commerce. I want to make $1 million. So I'll sign up to it.
Seriously, within the last, I think 2 years, we've raised over 10 people that are already doing millions.
Wow,
I told one of my mentee just about 5 days ago that the target I gave him between that day, I think it was about 36 days. I obviously told him to go and write it down. Those 36 days, he must make 5 million naira. And he's already working on it.
Wow. That's amazing.
And the guy is new. He's new. He's just starting out. So some people don't understand when we say some of these things. Let's just log out. You can come behind the scene. Let's do a lot. Thank you.
Yeah.
And let's do this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
But you
you.
can just